What do you do when the person you love can't accept the family who raised you? Sometimes, healing the deepest rifts requires honesty, empathy, and the courage to ask for a second chance. Have you ever felt caught between your loved ones? The hallway clock ticks as sunlight crawls across the kitchen floor. I wipe down the table, sliding a stack of napkins into the basket by the fruit bowl. My eyes keep drifting to the invite on the fridge, the one with the gold border and my mom's handwriting. It's been there all week, pinned up with a bright red heart magnet. Still sealed, still waiting. Ella skips in, clutching her favorite stuffed bunny. Mom, can I wear my sparkly dress to Grandma's on Saturday? I smile, brushing her hair from her eyes. Of course you can, sweet pea. Grandma will love it. From upstairs, Kevin clatters down the steps, keys jangling in his hand. He checks his watch, glancing toward the fridge, but not the card. Morning. Traffic's gonna be bad all weekend. I promised to help Dave move, and I've got a mountain of emails to catch up on. Maybe you and Ella can go to your parents, without me this time. My hands stiffen on the counter. It's been a while. Mom asked again about you coming. They miss you, Kev. He shrugs, grabbing his coffee. It's just bad timing. You know how it is lately. A silence grows between us, filled only by the hum of the fridge and Ella humming to herself. I want to push, but I feel that old wall starting to go up in his eyes. Ella tugs at his sleeve. Daddy, do you want to see my new picture for Grandma? He tries a half smile. Maybe later, kiddo. Gotta run. He leans over for a quick kiss on my cheek, then ruffles Ella's hair. Be good for Mom, yeah? We watch him go, his footsteps fading. The house feels colder as the door clicks shut. I look at the invitation again, thinking about how many times I've put these things on the calendar and how often he's found a way out. Saturday comes sooner than I want. Ella twirls in her sparkly dress, looking up with hope in her eyes. Is Dad coming too? I kneel down and zip her boots, my voice soft. Not this time, honey, but we'll have fun, won't we? She nods, trailing behind as I pack cookies in the car and tuck the invitation in my purse, just in case. When we arrive, my mom greets us with her usual warm hug. She glances around for Kevin, then tries to hide her disappointment. He's working again. I nod, faking a cheerful shrug. Just busy, Mom. It's always busy. She squeezes my hand. We miss having him around. Ella dashes off to show her grandpa her new dance move, her laughter echoing in the hallway. Mom pours sweet tea into chipped glasses. Honey, she says gently, are you sure everything's all right? Kevin hasn't made it to a birthday or Sunday dinner in, what, months? I set the glasses out, keeping my eyes low. It's just a busy season. Mom, he'll come next time. I want to believe it as much as she does. Dad joins us, patting my shoulder. Just tell Kevin we've got his favorite pie waiting when he's ready. We sit in the sunroom, conversation circling small things. School supplies, garden updates, funny old neighbors. I laugh along, but there's a cold patch inside me that I can't fix. No matter how many times I say, he's just busy. After lunch, Ella and I drive home as dusk settles in. She falls asleep in her car seat, Bunny by her cheek. The invitation flutters in my purse. I see it each time I slow for a red light. Back in the kitchen, I tack the card back on the fridge, where it waits. Hope and disappointment, side by side, under that same red magnet. Sometimes you can do everything right. Keep the calendar clear, bake the pies, ask the questions gently. But the person you need most just finds another reason to keep the door closed. I climb upstairs, shutting off lights as I go, my smile softening, finally letting the sadness show. just for a second. The fridge hums. The invitation sits, unopened. My hope hangs on, even as the air grows cooler. The dishes clink softly in the sink. Mom wipes her hands on a towel and turns to me. "Honey," she says gently, "does Kevin not like coming here anymore? I mean, we haven't seen him since Easter." I blink, trying not to show what I'm feeling. "He's just been slammed at work." Mom tilts her head. "We've all been busy, Megan. I'm just wondering what changed." I open my mouth to reply, but nothing comes out. I give her a small smile instead, hoping she'll let it go. But her eyes, kind and persistent, stay on mine a little too long. On the drive home, Ella hums in the back seat. I keep one hand on the wheel and the other resting near the heater. My palms are cold. My stomach, colder. Inside the house, Kevin is on the couch, feet up, laptop open. The TV is on mute. He doesn't look up when we walk in. "Hey," I say, pulling off Ella's coat. "Mom asked about you." Kevin closes his laptop halfway. "Yeah, she noticed it's been a while." He shrugs and goes back to typing. "I get that. Things aren't slowing down at the office. I will try again." "They miss you, Kev." He sighs. "I know. I'll visit when I can." It's not personal, but to me, it is. It's the 5th time this year. A birthday missed, a Sunday skipped, a holiday pie eaten at home. Ella runs off to play, and I sit in the chair across from Kevin, waiting. He doesn't say anything else. I stare at the remote, then down at my shoes. Later, I step outside for air. Lizzie is trimming back her rose bushes next door. She waves. "Another long day?" Something like that. She spots something in my expression and sets the clippers down. "Want to talk?" We sit on her porch with lukewarm coffee between us. I told her about Mom's question. Kevin brushing it off, the way it eats at me. "It's just this quiet thing now," I whisper. "No fights, no yelling, just avoidance. Every time I bring up a family, he vanishes into work or errands." Lizzie watches me, listening. "Have you told him how that makes you feel?" "Not really," I sigh. I keep telling myself not to start something. She leans back. "Honey, you're not starting a fight. You're sharing your heart. If you don't say it, that sadness will just sit there and grow." I take a sip of coffee. I always pictured family dinners and holidays together. Kevin laughing with Dad. My mom hugged him like he was her own son. "You deserve that," she says softly. "But people can't give what they don't know you need." Her words settle deep. That night, after Ella goes to sleep, I walk around the quiet house. Everything is still. Blankets on the sofa, nightlight glowing in the hallway. Kevin is in the kitchen, microwaving leftovers. I watch him for a minute before I speak. "Can we talk?" He glances over, tired. "Now?" "Soon." I nod, heart knocking in my chest. "Not tonight, but maybe tomorrow, after Ella's at school." He nods once. "Okay." He doesn't ask what it's about, and I don't push. But inside, I'm already working through the words I've been holding for too long. Have you ever felt stuck between your partner and your family? How did you handle it? Share your experience below. I go to bed, staring at the ceiling. The words keep repeating in my head. They miss you. I miss you. It matters to me. I turn onto my side, deciding right then, tomorrow, I'm going to stop pretending this doesn't hurt. The sun pushes through the kitchen blinds, painting lines across the table. Megan pours orange juice, the carton trembling a little in her hands. The cereal crackles quietly in Ella's bowl. Kevin scrolls on his phone, toe-tapping some anxious rhythm beneath the table. Megan clears her throat, searching for a point of connection. Mom texted, she's thinking about a family cookout next weekend. She wants to know if we can make it. Kevin doesn't look up. I promised I'd fix that leaky faucet, remember? Plus, there's that class project we need to help Ella with. And I think your car's inspection date is coming up. Megan keeps her tone light, but inside, she can feel the weight of every unsaid word. It's just one evening. We could... He stands, already stacking dishes. Why don't you and Ella go? I'll get some things done around here. Megan nods, fighting back a sigh, and glances at Ella. Their daughter busies herself with her spoon, not meeting anyone's eyes, just watching milk swirl in the bowl, shoulders hunched small. Ella, you want to help me with place cards for the party? Megan tries again, offering a smile. Ella remove su cereal. Maybe later. I think I'll just draw in my room. Megan's heart pinches. She watches as Ella drags her backpack upstairs, her spark lost somewhere between the kitchen and the hallway. The silence returns, heavy and thick, settling over the house. No music plays, no quiet laughter bubbles up like it used to. Not even a gentle joke about burnt toast or mismatched socks. There's only the scrape of the chair as Kevin retreats to the garage. The faint hum of the washing machine in the background. Hours pass. Megan stands in the living room, eyes lingering on the family photo resting on the mantel. She, her parents, and little Ella all smiling under a summer sun, with Kevin missing from the frame, just as he is from so many moments lately. What once felt like a minor absence now stands out in sharp relief, making the room feel colder. Afternoon turns to evening. Megan peeks in Ella's room and finds their daughter quietly coloring, her page covered in lonely blue skies and a row of stick figures, one that looks like her, holding hands with Grandma and Grandpa. Everything okay, sweet pea? Megan asks, kneeling beside her. Ella chews her lip. I guess. Dad doesn't like Grandma's house, does he? Megan brushes hair from her daughter's forehead, her voice barely steady. Sometimes grown-ups have a hard time with things too, but it's not your fault, honey. Ella nods and bends her head, coloring in silence. Downstairs, the house settles into a hush that isn't restful. Megan moves on autopilot, prepping dinner, folding laundry, pretending to watch TV as Kevin clatters with tools behind a closed door. Later that night, Megan sits at her desk, fingers poised above a blank piece of paper. She lets the words pour out, soberness guiding her hand. Kevin, I'm writing this because I can't say all these things out loud. Not yet. Every time I try, the words get stuck and I end up swallowing them, hoping I'll get brave enough tomorrow. I miss us. I miss laughing with you and feeling like we're a team, not just two people sharing a house. I wish you'd come with us to see Mom and Dad. It hurts to keep standing alone at every dinner, pretending it's fine when it isn't. I want Ella to know what a real family feels like. One that shows up, even when it's hard. One that forgives old wounds and tries again. I want something better for her than this cold gap we keep letting grow. Please, talk to me. I need to know what's keeping you away. I love you, M. She lays her pen down, feeling both lighter and emptier at once. She folds the letter, tucks it into her notebook, and places it in her drawer. Never meant to be sent, but needing to exist just the same. As the house grows quiet, Megan stands by the mantel, touching the corner of the family photo with her thumb. The laughter it holds feels far away, but for the first time in a long while, she admits to herself that it's what she truly wants back. She heads upstairs, flicking off the lights one by one, silence trailing behind her like a long shadow, praying for a day when their truths won't have to hide. The rain taps against the window as Megan folds another dish towel into the drawer. The air inside the house feels tight, like whatever's been hiding between them is finally pushing its way out. Kevin walks in from the garage, wiping his hands with an old rag. "Sink's good now," he says, voice flat. Megan turns slowly, hands resting on the counter. "Can we talk now?" He glances toward the hallway. "Ella's upstairs. She's doing a puzzle," Megan says. "Please, can we just talk?" He nods, taking a seat at the kitchen table. Megan sits across from him, her heart pounding. She doesn't wait this time. "You never come with us. Birthdays, holidays, a family dinner. It's always an excuse, Kevin." His brows knit. "That's not fair." "No." Her voice wavers. "Because it feels fair to me. It feels like I'm going to bat for two people I love, but only one of you shows up." He throws the rag on the table. "You don't get it." "Then explain it." Her eyes shine. "Help me understand why your chair's always empty." A silence stretches between them, long and fragile, before he speaks. "Your dad," he swallows, jaw tight. "That comment he made at Thanksgiving 3 years ago, when I brought the wrong wine and he said, 'I guess we know who's not the planner in this marriage.' Remember that?" Megan's mouth opens, stunned. "Kevin, I felt stupid," he continues, quieter now. "Like I didn't belong. Your mom laughed. You brushed it off. I sat there, pretending I wasn't shrinking inside." Megan leans forward. "Kev, I never meant to ignore that. I thought he was being his usual sarcastic self. I didn't know it stuck like that." He nods slowly. "It did, because that wasn't the first time. Every time we go there, I feel out of place, like I'm being measured and found lacking. It's easier not to go than to feel unwelcome over and over." Megan breathes in, trying to keep herself centered. "But do you have any idea how hard it's been for me? To show up with Ella, to bring home extra pie for you alone at our empty table, to smile and say you're just busy again." He looks away, biting his lip. "I didn't mean for it to hurt you, but it does." Her voice shakes now. "And not just me. Ella notices. She's started asking why Daddy never comes. What do I say to that?" Kevin's fingers curl into the table edge. "I thought, if I stayed away, I'd be protecting myself. I didn't mean to make you feel alone." Her voice softens, but the pain is still there. "We promised we'd be team, remember? But I've been standing in the middle of two worlds, trying to tug them closer, and no one's pulling back with me." "Not really." A brief silence, heavy but honest. "You think I'm shutting your family out," Kevin says. "But I've been scared they already shut me out." Megan's breath catches. "Kevin, we teach Ella to say how she feels. We tell her to speak up when something's wrong. Why didn't you tell me all this sooner?" He shakes his head slowly. "Pride, embarrassment, maybe. And the longer I stayed away, the harder it got. What would you do if a misunderstanding kept your loved ones apart? Would you give up or fight for a solution? Share your thoughts below." Megan reaches for her wedding ring, turning it gently, the way she always does when she's thinking through something hard. "I wish we'd had this talk years ago," she says softly. "But I'm glad we're having it now." Kevin leans back, rubbing his forehead. "I don't want to keep hurting you. I just don't want to feel like an outsider in your life." "You're not," she says. "I wanted you in every single part of it. I still do." They both sit there for a moment, staring at the cooling tea on the stovetop. "Maybe I owe your dad a talk," Kevin says. Megan nods. "We'll figure it out, but it has to be together this time. No more sitting on opposite sides." The tension doesn't vanish, but it softens, just a little. Later that evening, Kevin grabs a blanket and heads to the guest room. Megan crawls into bed alone, the quiet no longer filled with silence, but sorting, wondering, hoping. Both of them stare at different ceilings, the same worry keeping them awake. Will things actually change now? Neither is sure, but the words are finally out, and that's a start. The sun filters through the cafe window, catching on the corner of my coffee mug. I sit across from Eric, my older brother, the one who always knows how to read me before I speak. Eric leans back and studies me. You look tired. The emotional weight of a marriage is kind of tiring. I let out a quiet laugh that doesn't feel all that funny. It's Kevin. He and Dad had some old tension. It's been years, and he still won't come over. Not birthdays, not dinners. I feel like I'm always the one in the middle. Eric sips his coffee. Yeah, I've been there. I blink. You have. With Amanda's mom, the first couple years of marriage, she didn't like how fast we moved. It felt like I was pulling Amanda away from her. I stayed away for a while. I thought I was keeping peace, but all I did was make Amanda feel alone. He shrugs. Eventually, I had to grow up, swallowed my pride, went over and told her, face to face, I'm here for keeps. I just want to be part of the family. And she cried. I cried. Now she makes my favorite casserole without asking. He grins, but it fades quickly. But it had to start somewhere, with a table and a talk. I glance down, twisting my ring around my finger without thinking. Sometimes, I wish Kevin understood why this matters to me. He feels left out, and I feel left behind. He's not a mind reader, Meg, Eric says, gently. But I know this, he loves you. That's solid ground. So build something on it. Meanwhile, across town, Kevin grabs lunch with his coworker Cameron. They sit under a noisy ceiling fan in the break room, each with microwaved leftovers. So how's the house, man? Cameron asks, mouth half full of lasagna. Kevin shrugs. Fine. I mean, not really. Megan and I had a blowout. Her family. I'm not showing up to things. Cameron raises an eyebrow. Are you still dodging dinners? Kevin leans forward. It's not that simple. Her dad made this little joke years ago, something that hit me wrong. I let it sit and fester because I didn't want more drama. But now it's this huge wedge between us. I know I didn't handle it right. Cameron nods slowly. Pride'll eat you if you keep feeding it. You want your daughter growing up thinking people stay apart because of one-off mistakes? Kevin stares down at his fork. Number, I don't. Then fix it. Cameron leans forward. Say what you need to say. For Megan. For Ella. That afternoon, I sat in the upstairs hallway, folding laundry, my ring cool against my skin as I spun it again. I think about our wedding, Kevin fumbling his vows, me giggling through tears, the way his hand found mine under the table during our first dance. Funny how far away that version of us feels, but also how close it still is. When I slow down and look for it, another memory surfaces. Kevin brought hot soup when I had the flu, even though he had a deadline, laughing in the grocery store over the wrong kind of cinnamon, because apparently ground and sticks are not the same. Ella as a baby, his voice humming lullabies, off-key in the dark. We were stronger once. I want that again. I move downstairs, phone in hand, heart pounding. I text Mom. Can you and Dad come over Friday night? Just something small. I'll cook. 3 dots appear. Then, we'd love that. For the first time in weeks, I breathe easy. Kevin arrives home late that day. The house is quiet except for the dishwasher humming. I hand him a plate, microwaved but warm. I invited my parents for dinner Friday. He looks up, surprised. You did? I want us to try, I say softly. No pressure, no speeches, just food, and maybe forgiveness. He nods once, slowly. Okay, I know it won't fix everything, I add, but maybe it can be a beginning. He sets down his coat and pulls Ella's drawing out of his bag. A messy scribble of two houses, smiling stick figures, all holding hands in front. "Ella drew this today," he says. I reach for it, eyes stinging. I whisper, "She sees what we're missing, even if we pretend we don't." What would you do if a misunderstanding kept your loved ones apart? Would you give up or fight for a solution? We sat together on the couch. No TV, no words. Just space, quiet and important. My thumb brushes my wedding ring again. Still worn, still real, and maybe, just maybe, we're ready to earn our way back to the table. Plates clatter softly as Megan and Ella move through the kitchen side by side. Megan's voice tries to sound upbeat. "Careful with the good forks, honey. Set them just like Grandma likes, okay?" Ella beams and arranges napkins with careful, tiny hands. The house smells like cinnamon and roasted chicken, comfort and hope all mixed together. Soon, Janet and Tom arrive, big smiles and a warm casserole in tow. Janet hugs Megan and leans down to smooth Ella's hair, setting the table like a pro, just like your mama did when she was little. Ella lights up, proud and shy. Kevin appears from the hallway, straightening his sleeves, eyes nervous. Megan meets his gaze with a gentle nod. He manages a half smile, sits stiffly at the table, hands clasped. Everyone gathers, passing plates quietly. Megan tries to bridge the gap. "So, Dad, did you fix that old mower?" Tom answers, chuckling, but the joke doesn't quite land. Kevin nods along, but never fully joins in, his gaze fixed on his water glass more than anyone's face. Janet brings in her famous apple pie, fresh and golden, placing it gently by the window. "Best save for last," she says, her tone bright. Silence slips in. Ella tells a story from school, voice soft, looking from Megan to Kevin. Kevin nods, but there's an invisible wall. His replies short, his eyes wandering. Tom tries a dad joke, something about a cow in a store. Megan forces a laugh, but it fizzles fast. Janet offers seconds to everyone, touching Kevin's shoulder. He startles, mumbling, "I'm good, thanks." She withdraws politely, surreptitiously biting her lip. Conversation keeps stalling, like a car stuck in mud. Casserole is served, bread is passed, but something deeper sits between everyone, untouched and heavy. Dinner ends sooner than usual. Megan clears plates, shoulders drooping. Kevin offers to help, but Megan shakes her head, voice small. "I've got it." Kevin lingers, then slips away under the excuse of checking his phone. Janet hangs back. In the softly lit kitchen, she hugs Megan close, rubbing her back. "You did your best, honey," she whispers. "None of this is your fault." Megan clings a little tighter, pressing her eyes shut. She only nods. Janet leaves her apple pie on the counter, untouched, its sweet scent fading into the quiet. The pie sits there, gold and perfect, a whisper of what could have been. One more chance for joy, missed again. Later, as Megan settles Ella into bed, Ella's voice comes out small. "Mom, why does Daddy always look sad at Grandma's house?" Megan smooths Ella's blanket, heart heavy. "Grown-ups get sad sometimes, even when they don't want to. But it's not because of you, sweet pea." Ella hugs her stuffed bunny close. "I wish we could all be happy here together." Megan brushes a kiss onto her forehead. "Me too, baby." After Ella drifts off, Megan returns. Downstairs, the house is dim, the apple pie still sitting, whole and waiting. Kevin, seeking some quiet, wanders the hallway and steps into Ella's room to check on her. On the nightstand, he notices a fresh drawing, crayons bright against white paper. Two houses side by side. Lined up together are stick figures. Megan, Kevin, Ella, Janet, Tom. Wide smiles, arms linked. Above, in wobbly orange, Ella's block letters read, "Best day ever." Kevin stands still, heart clenching. He studies the drawing, so clear, so hopeful, and something in him cracks. It isn't the awkward jokes or missed glances at dinner that stands out. It's this simple promise from a child who still believes togetherness is possible. He presses the drawing gently between his palms, suddenly, deeply wishing he could give Ella that best day ever for real. Meanwhile, Megan wraps the untouched apple pie in tinfoil and sets it away, another night's hope put back, but still lingering in the sweetness of tomorrow. The night is quiet, just past Ella's bedtime. Kevin holds her drawing in his hands again, creased, but still bright, each crayon line full of something he'd forgotten how to name. Hope. Ella peeked over her blanket earlier and asked him softly, "Daddy, how come some families don't feel like a team?" He didn't know how to answer. He just kissed her forehead and said, "That's a really good question." Now, here he is, walking down the sidewalk under a dim porch light, jacket zipped too high. The street is still but alive with the sound of his thoughts. He rounds the corner and sees Lizzie tugging weeds from her flower bed under a garden light. She stands when she sees him. Kevin Holloway out for a stroll? That has to mean something big. He offers a tired smile. "Mind if I walk with you?" They stroll along the sidewalk, both quiet for a while. "I saw the pie still sitting on your counter when I came in from work," she says finally. "Didn't even touch it, huh?" Kevin shakes his head. "I tried, Lizzie. I went. I sat there. But it just, I don't know. Everything felt off." "You were nervous." He nods. "Terrified, actually. I felt like I didn't belong. Like one wrong sentence and I'd be the outsider again." "Again?" she asks gently. He clears his throat. 3 years ago, Tom made this comment. Nothing big to anyone else, but it stuck with me. He glances down. I let it grow until I couldn't tell the difference between one joke and a personal attack. Lizzie hums, thoughtful. "Let me guess. You told no one, and you avoided everything that reminded you of it." "Pretty much. You ever think maybe Tom doesn't even remember saying it?" Kevin laughs once, dry. "Yeah, maybe. But I let it control everything since. And Megan, she's been shouldering it all alone." Lizzie stops walking. She didn't want much, just to see both sides of her world in the same room. That's not asking too much. Kevin exhales long. "And Ella, she drew us all together. She doesn't even know what happened, and she still believes it can be fixed. That's what makes kids smart," Lizzie says. "They're not as scared to believe in good things." He looks at the drawing again, under the streetlight. It shines in a quiet way. "Do you regret not going sooner?" Lizzie asks him. He nods, slowly. "Yeah, I do. I thought I was protecting myself. But really, I was just building a wall around something that didn't need to be that big." They reach Lizzie's driveway. She turns before walking up. "Can I give you one piece of advice, Kevin? Lay it on me. Don't go fix everything with one grand moment. Just show up. That's the only apology that counts." Back home, Megan is folding laundry upstairs when she hears the front door creak open. Kevin walks into the kitchen, still holding Ella's drawing. He pauses by the apple pie, now wrapped in foil. He peels back the corner and cuts a clean, narrow slice. He sets it on a plate, then places Ella's picture right next to it. Megan comes down the stairs, sensing something different. She freezes at the kitchen doorway. Kevin looks up. "I want to try again," he says quietly. Her hands tighten around the shirt she's still holding. "Ella asked me why families don't feel like teams, and I didn't know what to say. But I think it's because of people like me, people who get hurt, and don't know what to do next. He steps closer, the plate trembling a bit in his hand. I hurt you by hiding. I hurt Ella by keeping myself small. I thought I was protecting myself, but I was only closing doors. Megan's eyes fill. She places the shirt on the counter. This doesn't fix everything, Kevin says, but I'd like to go see your parents on my own. Before next week, I need to talk to your dad. Megan presses a fist to her chin for a second, then whispers, "You sure?" He nods. "I am." Ella's picture reminded me of what we wanted for her, family that showed up. She gestures for the pie. "You want a slice?" He smiles and finally hands it over. "Only if we eat it together." They sit at the table, one drawing between them, one shared plate of pie, and a kind of peace beginning to grow. Has a child's honesty or a small gesture ever changed your mind about something important? Tell us in the comments below. The sun is just beginning to dip behind the trees as Kevin stands on the front porch. His hand trembles slightly as he lifts the phone to his ear. He breathes deep and dials Megan's parents' number, hoping his voice sounds steadier than he feels. "Hello, Mr. Bennett, it's Kevin Holloway." His voice is low but sincere. "I wanted to call and say I'm sorry for not coming around, for all the times I've been distant. I realize now how much I've hurt Megan, and you too." A pause. Then Tom's voice, rough but calm. "Kevin, we all have our struggles. I won't lie. The comment I made years ago was hurtful, and I regret it. I never wanted to drive a wedge between you and Megan's family." Kevin nods into the phone. "Thank you. That means a lot to hear. I want to try again, to make things right." "Good," Tom replies. "We'll be here when you're ready." The next afternoon, Megan arrives home with Ella's hand in hers. Kevin waits nervously at the door, dressed simply but with a new sense of purpose. Together, they step into the living room where Janet is arranging flowers, her smile welcoming but cautious. "Kevin," she says softly, reaching out to embrace him. "We've missed you." Kevin smiles, feeling the weight begin to lift. Tom steps forward, extending a hand. "Let's talk, man." His voice, gentle but sincere. The visit starts with quiet conversations, the awkward kind where everyone's searching for the right words. Megan watches, tears gathering, as she sees her husband and father begin the slow work of rebuilding. Ella dances between the adults, giggling, spinning with the kind of joy that only comes from feeling whole. Later, Megan pulls the old Polaroid camera from the shelf. She gathers everyone on the porch: Kevin, her parents, herself, and Ella. They squeeze close, some smiling, others a little shy. Click. She holds up the instant photo, winking. New family photo. The picture captures it all. Smiles, arms around each other, a genuine moment of connection. As night falls, the house fills with laughter and the delicious smell of pizza. Plates clink, stories are shared, and slow, meaningful steps knit two families closer. Megan leans back in her chair, heart full. Maybe family isn't perfect. Maybe it's messy, but it's worth every effort. The smell of grilled burgers drifts across the backyard. Birds sing somewhere in the trees, and the sky glows soft blue, like it knows today matters. Laughter floats through the air, easy, warm, real. Ella runs barefoot across the grass, chasing her cousin, her voice ringing out, full of joy. Megan watches from the patio, mason jar in hand, lemonade clinking with ice. Kevin flips burgers by the grill, joking with Tom like it's always been this way. Janet sets a bowl of her famous potato salad on the table, laughing as Ella nearly knocks it over with the football. No tension, no walls, just family. Megan's voice comes in quietly, steady and full of peace. It didn't happen overnight. First came hurt, then came silence. But somehow, through honest words, quiet apologies, and one brave little drawing, we found our way back. She steps inside, pulling down a worn scrapbook from the shelf. Inside is the invitation card, the one that sat unopened for weeks. It's taped alongside the Polaroid photo from the front porch. Everyone smiling, arms close, eyes shining. For a while, I thought it was all falling apart. Kevin seemed farther than I could reach. My parents asked quiet questions I didn't know how to answer. But through love, even when it was hard, we found something stronger than pride. She walks back out with the scrapbook tucked under her arm and places it gently on the table near Janet. Kevin catches her eye. She smiles, that old smile, the one from days when everything felt lighter. This cookout wasn't planned to be a big moment, but maybe the connection doesn't need balloons or speeches. Maybe it just needs a grill, a game of tag, and a second chance. Ella squeals with laughter as Tom chases her, arms open like a giant monster. Kevin joins in, tossing the football harmlessly into a bush and grinning like he's 16 again. Of course, things aren't suddenly perfect. We're still learning. But now, we face it all together, with louder love, gentler words, and more patience than before. Megan places her hand over Kevin's as he sits beside her. They look out at the people they fought for, the family they almost lost to silence. To anyone listening, if there's something broken between you and someone you love, fight to fix it. Talk. Apologize. Listen. Even if it's awkward. She leans into Kevin, her last words quiet with conviction. Family is worth it. Every time. Have you ever had to rebuild a relationship one step at a time? How did you find your way back to each other? Share your story below. Thank you for watching. And remember, sometimes the hardest talks lead to the best days. If this story touched your heart, if you've ever struggled to bring your loved ones together, faced family rifts, or felt caught between people you care about, share your experience in the comments. How did you hold on to hope or work toward forgiveness in your own family? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real stories about second chances, healing, and the power of honest conversations. And if someone you care about needs encouragement to mend old wounds, send this story to them. Sometimes, a little courage and kindness are all it takes to bring a family back together.